What is up, guys? Live here at Pro Play Games, and finally with the long-awaited hit weenies. That's what I'm gonna call it, hit weenies. Been playing this a few times on the live stream, and I had a few people on Untap also asking for the list. So I wanted to post the YouTube version of this deck. The Patreon version will be found on our Patreon, PPG DBS. Make sure you check that out. That's going to have a lot of the changes that I kind of learned from playing the deck. A lot of its weaknesses and things like that were fixed in the other version, and it actually, spoiler alert, has a completely different leader, which I thought about and was actually just so much better. It kind of outperformed Hit, even though Hit seems like the perfect leader for this type of deck. So let's go into it. Hit leader, of course, on this side just draws a card and gets plus 5k, so it's really good at pressuring your opponent down on life, because they're always taking these hits normally because you're 15k on this side, and of course you're drawing cards. The problem with leaders like this is they normally don't have a self-awaken, and this one, of course, long and behold, no self-awaken, so you can't get stalled out if your opponent's not hitting you back, and so that can be a problem. Life is at 4 less, draw 1 on tap 1, which is fine. Honestly, you would like to see an untap 2 in most decks like this, because they accumulate enough card advantage. You just want to have a big turn where you can, on turn 2, you can use 4 energy, which is ideal, but it works. Backside is really why we play Hit as a leader. It's because when he attacks, you can draw a card. Not only draw a card, but you can also bring out a 15, get plus 5k, so you're at 20k, and you can choose up to 1 skillless battle card in your drop area with energy cost 2 or less and play it. So that means all these weenies that you're playing in the deck, like Sun Goku and Koei, which obviously can be any 1-drops just for the sake of this deck, and you'll see why in a moment. They just come out for free, right? So you're getting free value. So not only are you getting a free card attacking on this side, but you're getting a free boost, so 20k. So you're still playing to the aggressive strategy, and that's what this deck is. It's really just aggressive. It's not control whatsoever. It's not mid-range at all, and it just wants to kill those decks before they get a lot of things going and kind of just overwhelm them. So that's pretty cool. It also has choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with double strike, crit, or blocker, and KO it, which is great. I mean, it's not the main reason why we play this deck or this leader at all. It's really just for recurring the vanilla, and you'll see why that's so good. So 4-star ball is our first card here, and this card's great because it makes all your 1-drop 10ks into 1-drop 20ks essentially for the turn. So as long as you combo with this on a skillless card, it'll give it an additional 5k. So this is great in combination with the 2 primary skillless cards that we're playing, which is Koei and Sun Goku. We're also playing Sun Goku Adventure Begins, which gets us the 4-star ball. Next card here is the Bonds of Friendship, Android 8. This card actually played pretty well, because not only can it net you advantage by getting you a Koei or a Sun Goku off the top, which honestly it's not the best selling point of the card, but it does have the opportunity to do that. The main reason why we play it is for its second ability. When your Sun Goku Childhood is KO'd by an opponent's skill or leaves the battlefield, so that means you can combo it off yourself, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So it gives this deck a form of removal that it wouldn't have if it wasn't for this card, at a very cheap energy cost, of course. So this guy will normally just stay on board, and then as your hit leader attacks, it can bring out a Sun Goku from the drop, or you can just have this Sun Goku on board, which you normally want turn 1 anyways, combo it off and trigger his ability to pop anything. And of course this stacks, so if you have 2 or 3 of them, every iteration of a Sun Goku being comboed off or KO'd, you're going to continue to pop your opponent's cards. So very cool piece of removal. This is never going to use the second ability to bring out a skillless battle card with energy cost 3 or less. It's just for 2 energy to bring out one of these from your deck. It's not what you want to be doing. You'd rather just bring it out for free with your leader. And speaking of bringing it out for free, this is the main reason why we're playing 1-drop 10ks essentially, because this Universe 4 symbol from the new Draft Box 5, I'm really in love with this card, because for 1 energy you bring out 2 skillless battle cards with 10k power from your drop area and or warp and play them. So that means these 2 copies can be played for 0.5 energy, so that's half an energy with this card. So very good, and this is the main reason why we're playing this card. Unfortunately, it is an extra card, you can't combo with it, but hey, it does what it does. Very good card. Flight of the Grand Eagle is one of our pieces of defense along with After Image Technique. These two cards kind of serve the same purpose in a way. Flight of the Grand Eagle is one of the new cards from Draft Box 5. That's a counter attack. Choose up to one of your leader cards or battle cards. It gets plus 100k power, so that's pretty ridiculous. And if your leader card's red, you can use the counter from your hand by choosing 2 of your non-token battle cards, reducing their power by 10k each for the rest of the turn. So honestly, I'm a bit back and forth about these. Now, this doesn't require you to take a life to play for free. After Image would require you to take a life to play for free. So that's why I'm kind of like split between the two. And the only problem is that normally when you're playing this card, you're KOing both those cards, because as you can see, all our battle cards can really, they all die to this ability. So, and After Image Technique, the only pro to that, the only pro to, I guess, Flight of the Grand Eagle is that you get plus, the After Image Technique is technically like 40k, because, or 50k, because you're getting plus 40k and you're minusing something minus 10k. So it can be a 50k swing, right? This is a 100k swing. So you're 100% like, you have double the double the defense with this card than you would with this card, but you have the casting requirements that are a little bit different. Now, Pride Collective Catal is one of the backbones to this deck, and to get it flowing, and to get the deck flowing as smoothly as you want it to, you really need to be able to get this guy effectively to your drop area. Now, he does have an auto when he's played, but we're never really doing that. It does draw you a card, so if you do draw it, you have that out for 1 energy. Drawing a card, not bad, but not what you want to be doing. What you want to be doing is the Activate main when your leader card is red and you send it from the drop to the warp. You can choose 2 skillless battle cards with energy cost of 1 from your deck and place them in your drop area. So it essentially Foolish Burials if you're from YuGiOh. Any of these cards, any combination, 1 and 1 or 2 of each, or 2 of one or 2 of the other, is what you want to be doing with this card. So this is a great way to deck thin and be able to get you the cards that you really want to see. Speaking of the cards that you really want to see Stealth Silhouette Gamisaras. Is that how you spell it? Activate main once per turn. You can Foolish Burial, pretty much a energy cost 1 from your deck, and then you can plus 5k or minus 5k a card. So pretty cool. I've actually used this to get rid of some of my opponent's cards. If they leave like a Self-Awakener on board, you can kill it immediately, or you can use it to pump your own cards. Honestly, that effect isn't too relevant. The only relevant part is really just getting this guy to the drop. So this gets his best friend to the drop, so then we can go ahead and Foolish 2. So this, instead of Foolishing 1, could essentially Foolish 3 because of Foolish him, and then he will Foolish 2 more off to the drop area. So very good in terms of thinning out your deck and just trying to see or trying to draw the better cards in your deck, because obviously you have to play some fluff, which is not very good to draw in these 3 cards in particular. Jiren, Shackles of the Past. This one reads, you can only have 1 in your battle area. When you have 10 or more battle cards with 10k power at the start of your main phase for the duration of the turn, it becomes almost unstoppable. 30k power total, double strike and dual attack, and your opponent can't counter him unless they discard 2. So this is the main win con of the deck, and you know, as you see, being able to Foolish all these 10ks as easy as it is, this guy's not the hardest to get online, but definitely one of your win cons. I'm not going to say your main win con. Your main win con is just going really wide, and you're going to see how going wide will win you the game with 10ks, but this is definitely one of the ways that you can get there. Frieza's Death Ball. This essentially just reads for 1 energy, 25k combo. That's honestly, at the end of it, when you simplify it all, it does give one of your leader cards to battle cards plus 15k power, which is relevant, I guess. You can give it to one of your battle cards instead of your leader on the defensive or on the offensive. And if all your energy is red, which as long as you don't charge any of these black cards right here, you'll be 100% fine. One of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards gets minus 10k for the duration of the battle. So that's not too bad, and being able to do that is pretty nifty because you can kill something. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you're trying to just get a big combo out, this for 1 energy will give you 25, and that's pretty good. Speaking about getting big combos and kind of just pushing your opponent, because when they awaken, it's going to be hard to connect with these 10Ks, right? So you want to be able to connect with them as easy as possible without actually using cards, or using a lot of cards, or using as many cards, right? So when you attack with this skill list, you can, drop this to make it a 20k, or with Kawe, you can just throw away a Frieza's Death Ball and make it a 35k essential attack, which is pretty good. Or you can, with this Frieza, pay 1 energy and just drop the power of any of your opponent's cards, leader cards or battle cards, by 10k for every red that you pay. And this is every activate battle, so you can do this on one big swing, just use all that extra energy. What's very cool about him is because he can be a mana sink, essentially, which means, hey, man, I ran out of cards, I ran out of steam, I have really nothing to do with my energy. You dump all your energy into one of these activations, and essentially every energy that you pay nets you a 10k combo power. So, pretty good card. Also draws you a card when it's played. Went after image technique, great defensive card, Son Goku. Definitely something that you want to play. Also, this trait is Son Goku Childhood, so both of these Gokus trigger this Android 8. Next one is Champa, or Hidden Supreme, East Supreme Kai, whichever one works. They just give you double strike on a big attack, especially if you're trying to attack with one of these small guys for game. Your opponent's just like, haha, I laugh, I'm at 2. They don't negate. Then before you know it, 1 energy becomes 25k here, another energy becomes double strike here, and now you, with this spending 2 energy on that attack right there, that makes you a 45k base double strike, which is insane. Also, pretty cool thing to note, with this one you can choose to give a double strike or not. Why is that relevant? I say because if you attack with this Kawe, for example, you would have to use this 4-star ball before giving double strike, because this only gives it to a skill list, and this Supreme Kai actually gives it double strike as an ability. So now it's no longer a skill list card. So if you're trying to do something to give your Kawe or any of your skill list cards an ability like double strike, you will no longer be able to use the 4-star ball to give it that extra 5k combo. So there are very niche scenarios, but this one gives you an option to give double strike or not give double strike. So you don't have to 100% commit on the double strike for this card if you for some reason drew this off the life in the middle of a combat and you already gave it double strike, or whatever the case is, right? Mirage Maker Shanza. Okay, so this guy, this little guy, this cute little adorable guy, has barrier. So you can kind of just keep him on the board turn 2 and on, just as constant pressure. I've seen myself playing this on like turn 3 or 4 normally when I have a pretty good board presence, and this is primarily your win con, because this gives you essentially another battle phase. So this gives you 2 battle phases with your 1-drops. So only one of this card can be played in your battle area. That's unfortunate because you can't stack them. But activate main once per turn. You can switch this card to rest mode. Choose all your red battle cards with energy cost of 1 and switch them to active mode. So all these little guys can go in, not just your skill list cards, but even your Son Goku or your Bonds of Friendship, Android 8, even your Frieza. All those cards can kind of just go in for a swing. Oh, even your Jiren. This is a wombo. This is a wombo right here. If you have this and this, holy cow. Your opponent's 100% losing. But cute little trick is just, obviously, your hit obviously is bringing these out for free. So this will always have at least 1 target. But the point is that for 1 energy, you can bring these out, and then your hit brings out another one. That's already 3 for 1 energy. You brought out 3 bodies for 1 energy, then you have this. So you're attacking 3 times 2, so you're attacking 6 times. Just with that little setup. And like I said, you have infinite combo power and infinite cards that just give you more value on the combo than your opponent. So your opponent's normally just taking it. Nappa is going to be our super combo of choice, and the only reason is because early game it's very good at just pushing, and even not early game. So early game it's good because you could attack your opponent, and then you can force your opponent to attack your battle cards instead of attacking your leader, which is fine because now you're not getting pressured, because as you see, this deck has almost little to zero defense, to be honest. With the exception of Flight of the Grand Eagle and After Image Technique and maybe using Frieza defensively, there's no other defense in this deck. So early game, the Nappa can actually connect to your opponent's Unawakened Leader because it's 10k. Or late game, you can use this super combo twice, essentially, because as you use it as a super combo, at the end of that combo will get played onto the battlefield, and then you can attack with another card and then combo the Nappa from the field to the drop area. And effectively, that one card is giving you 20k worth of power for no energy, as opposed to where Frieza for 1 energy gets you 25, 4-star ball for 0 gets you 10k power, etc., etc. Ganos, Bird of Prey. So this one is pretty interesting. It's a super rare from the new set. Double strike, deflect, so doesn't get wrecked by Champa. Or it does get wrecked by Champa, actually. Oh, yes, I believe it does, yeah. So this is just unaffected by like Crusher Ball, essentially, like cards like Crusher Ball, which there's a lot of new Crusher Ball type-esque effects in the new set, so I guess this would be great in draft. And also in constructed in this deck, because you can actually choose 2 skillless battle cards from your drop area, banish them, and switch this card to active mode. And that's not once per turn. So you can keep doing this. It's awesome. It's kind of like that Goku from the last set that you have to banish 2 multicolor extra cards. This one, because you're foolishing the extra cards and putting them in the drop area, it's unfortunate because sometimes you need them, you know, especially for your 1-drop, but this is a great closure. That's why we're only playing 2. And then to finish it off, the best secret rare, I think, in most decks, because it's just so versatile. Normally, this is when the game gets out of hand. Turn 5, you shouldn't really be at a turn 5 unless you're like closing out the game with a Ganos and a big attack or something like that. But in the case that you do need relief board presence, that's there. Also, remember, this is an aggressive deck. With aggressive decks, your opponent needs to combo out or else they die, right? And if they're comboing out, that means they're losing cards from their hand. So this is a great way to like kind of just, while they're low on resources, get rid of the rest of their hand, and now you have this board presence, right? Because this deck is really about the board presence. It's not really about the hand advantage or anything like that. It's just really about how much pressure you're putting. So by getting rid of your opponent's hand, boom. So I felt like this was a great addition to the deck for the secret rare slot. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is the deck that I've been playing a while on. This is the first deck that kind of came to mind when I started reading. I read Cthulhu and I was like, wow, I like it. And then I read this card and I was like, oh, I really like where this is going. And then I read this guy and I'm like, holy cow. And then I read this guy and I'm like, wow. So we'll see exactly how competitive this deck becomes in the future events. Of course, as you know, we're doing Untapped tournaments online. So make sure you check that out on ppgfmanagement.com. If you want to see the updated version of this deck, because we did find a lot of weaknesses to this deck as we started playing against other different type of unfair decks in the format. Make sure you please check out and support the Patreon, of course, especially in this time. The team can really appreciate it. We love making content for you guys, and it will definitely help for everybody that's pretty much out of work and things to do, essentially. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see gameplay of this deck, make sure you check out our live streams. We go live like every Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday on Untap at around 8:30 p.m. So make sure you check out those. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Till next time, take care.